was your first 30 days? You were doing keto before, so it's not like you went from like a standard Canadian diet to, or keto or, carnivore, like boom. But did you notice any difficulties?
First 30 days, I actually was expecting to feel worse than I did, but like you say, I'd already been keto, mostly keto. So I didn't have any really withdrawal from it. It was more just the first couple of weeks really was more the period of adjustment for me, because it was just, feeling a little bit disgruntled about how I have to give up a bunch more stuff, and realizing that if I don't, I'm not going to get these blood sugar numbers down the way I need to be, my insulin and all that down. So it was more mental than anything else, just that feeling of deprivation. But I got over that really quick because I started feeling so much better. I could feel the changes happening in my body. People were telling me that I was glowing, which I thought was really interesting. So I'm eating meat, which most people think is going to give me cancer or kill me, but my skin is glowing like it couldn't be happier, so that kind of makes me laugh. Yeah, so that's really essentially it.
Only one doing carnivore. Do other people?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am the only one. My husband and pretty sure he thinks I'm crazy.
How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with it? He cooks what he wants for himself, or like the other day I made a big tub of goulash, which ordinarily would be okay, except that I personally can't tolerate butter, and there's a lot of butter in it. So otherwise it would be a great carnivore dish. And I made that for him. He does a lot of his own cooking, and if it's something I can eat, I'll eat it. If I can't, then I usually make up a big batch of spaghetti sauce with like this much tomato sauce in it. Excuse me, a little bit of onion and salt, and I just freeze it in individual baggies. And if there's whatever is going in the house, it doesn't work for me, then I just pull one of my little baggies out and eat a bowl of that, and I'm fine.
Okay,
he finds it quite
I don't know.
The way I eat.
I'm not sure if I could do so well on carnivore if Scott wasn't doing it with me. I don't know if I have the willpower not to like go much on that stuff in the house.
It's hard. It's kind of, in a way, it's like Christmas all the time, right? Because you got somebody in your face who's eating things that look really delicious that you're not going to have. But I've just hit the point of being very resolved, and more resolved than I've ever been on any eating plan I've ever been on. And I think the main reason for that is that I'm not hungry, which, I mean, every other diet you go on, it seems, with the exception perhaps of keto, it's deprivation. Your calories are low. Your body's telling you to eat all the time. You're feeling miserable. But, like I had breakfast at 11:30 this morning. I might not even be hungry till 6 o'clock. That is unheard of for me. I was usually eating every 2 hours, looking for something constantly. So it really helps to not be hungry, because then you can say like, whatever, I'll just have a cup of tea or whatever, I'll go for a walk, and you don't feel that gnawing thing in your stomach. So
what would be your number one piece of advice for someone that does have a spouse or other family members that are not doing carnivore?
You got to stick to your guns, do your own thing. Like, just don't, if you're in one of those relationships where you are the one that does all the cooking and there's no discussion about that, carry on, but be prepared that you're going to have to cook your own things sometimes, or find things, or I should say, and find things that you can both enjoy. Like I was just saying about this Hungarian goulash that I make. It's just, now, mind you, there's a lot of paprika in that probably wouldn't work for the non-spicy people, but it's something we would both normally quite enjoy. I just so happens that I can't tolerate it. But yeah, find things you can make that you can both eat. We both enjoy a lovely steak, so he'll have steak and mushrooms and garlic bread, and I'll just have the big piece of steak with some bacon fat on it or something like that. So a lot of this just depends on who you're married to and how helpful they want to be, right?
That is very true. You did the keto and used the past 3 months. You said you've been like really good about doing carnivore. Was it because, did you feel like there were struggles and things that keto wasn't meeting? Like, I know you said you saw the post and everything, but was there something else internally that you're like, maybe keto is giving me too much wiggle room, or keto, I had these balls on keto, so maybe I won't with carnivore. Like,
Right.
what is your why?
My why was because I wanted to lose weight, and I need to lose about 30 pounds. But for the diabetes, that particular piece of it, it's really important. It helps with bringing your blood glucose down to manage your weight better. And I was mad because, I feel like I'm really depriving myself. I've given up caffeine, alcohol, sugar. Why am I not losing weight? It was making me mad. And then the more I researched and started looking at things, and the same kind of information kept coming up, like, well, it might be the dairy. Some people can't tolerate the dairy, and on keto, I'm just dairying it up all the time, right? Everything, sour cream, cheese, whipped cream, all the dairy I can get. I've kind of shifted my chocolate and carbohydrate cravings over to dairy. And so I was really depressed at first to hear that. I'm like, dang it, I've already given up everything. What's going to be left? But I'm telling you what, when I dropped the dairy, I dropped all of it except a little bit of cream in my tea, because I will die before I give that up. Or I got to have one thing, and that's my one thing. As soon as I dropped the cheese, I almost immediately started noticing that I was losing weight. It just that feeling of the inflammation dropping, not feeling so puffy. So for me, that milk sugar, whatever it is, I don't know, but or maybe it's some kind of a dairy allergy, but it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And that I did 2 weeks without dairy, and then I have reincorporated back. I don't eat a lot of dairy anyways. Honestly, I can go a few days, have a little cheese sauce, go a few days. I'm not a huge dairy person, but for me, I haven't really noticed much. The first week that I stopped dairy, I lost, I think, 5 pounds. And then this week that I've been doing dairy, I still lost 5 pounds, but it is truly each their own in what works.
Definitely. Yeah. I decided that for Christmas, the whole Christmas season, my treat was going to be cheese. So I had nothing that I'm not supposed to have other than the cheese, but I felt it right away that kind of, wow, my pants are a little tighter already. It was only 3 days, I think, where I had cheese each of those days. So for me, it obviously is something that right now, anyway, my body doesn't tolerate. And so I'm just like, okay, that's another thing out the door. Here we go.